Hello, you're welcome to the second video in this tutorial series. In this particular video, we'll be learning how to create and animate a 3D character right inside Blender. So we'll be using Blender in this particular session of the tutorial series. So if you have not been able to use Blender before, you can go through my tutorial series on how to use Blender. The link will be in the description. Now, in this particular video, we'll be learning how to be able to create a character and be able to optimize it for export and then to be able to export it. But most importantly, we'll be animating it so that we can be able to export both the character and the animation that is inside it for us to use in Godot's game engine. So let's go into the video. So the first thing we're going to do is that if you go to your panel here, if you click there or you press N on your keyboard, you can be able to bring this out. If you have installed the MPFB add-on, you'll be able to see it here, somewhere around here, okay? So once you're able to install it, you can follow the video that's made available by the Make Human YouTube channel. So you can be able to actually go there and watch the video, go to the links and be able to download both the add-on and the assets that come with it. So when you do that, you can be able to work with me. So, but if you don't want to do that, you can still be able to download my own 3D asset library where I have already created the entire character, and you can download the particular character I've created and use it when we start building the game in Godot. So, but if you want to learn, you can go with me here. So here we're going to go into, because this comes up like this, so we can go to here in the new human. So you can go from a preset, you can go from Make Human or import a preset, but we want to start from scratch. So when you open this up, you can go for a neutral gender, but we want to create a man. So I'll go for a male. So you have the young, you have different ages. So, but we're going to leave it at young here. So, and I would like it to be universal for now. So I'll go down here, just allow every setting that is here. These are things we could change when we want to create things that are different. So I'll come here and click on create human. So allow it to create a human. So I'm going to just drop this down a bit so that it's good. So I'm going to select the character and I will just go up and snap this and this. So the next thing I want to be able to do is to go ahead to turn on my rigging. So before you add the eyes and every other thing, you have to turn on the rigging, because if you don't, it's not even going to be able to work. So first you go to your add rig. Now, some people use standard, but I prefer using Rigify because it gives me what I want and it works very well inside Godot engine. So I'm going to go into the Rigify. So once I add the Rigify, now it's going to create a very simple rig for me. So that's the Rigify I have there. So you're going to leave it this way for the meantime. And I'll quickly go down to the apply assets. So like I told you, if you're able to download all the assets that come with the add-on, the MPFB add-on, the Make Human add-on. So it's actually an add-on version of the Make Human software. So you come up here and you can be able to see different skin libraries, okay? So you can be able to add different kind of skin, so you can change what a character looks like. So for us to be able to appreciate the skin we are using, we want to go into the material preview. So once you're in the material preview, you'll be able to see the texture that is on this particular character. So I will like to use something a bit, let me use this character here. It is actually a guy, so I'm going to just go for a guy with beards. If you want to go very fast, you can actually come up to the filter and you can type bird, and you can be able to actually see some guys that have that. So I can just select this guy, and once you select it, it will be able to add that skin to your character as long as you're selecting the character. So now you have applied the skin. You want to go down to the eye library, so you can clean up this. Once you clean it up, you have access to all the eyes that you have. Just have about the high and the low poly. So I'm going to apply the high poly. So I'm going to go down here to the eyebrow. I'll just select this one, snap this, and go down to the eyelashes and add. So the good part about this is that you don't have to model all these things, and you have the ability to create unique characters if you want to. By you have to actually change some things in the model here, but I don't want to go into that for now. So I'm going to go to the hair. So I don't even think I want to put any hair on this guy here. So but if you want to add some hair, you can be able to actually select any kind of hair that you want that will suit your character. But I don't want to put any hair on him. I like the way he is. And I can go for teeth, so in case we decide that we want to make him speak. And then we'll go for a tongue. And then we'll go to clothes. So the cloth is actually where we will be adding some clothes to this character. So here we'll have the clothes. So if you scroll down, you see these are assets that you have to download. You can follow the video in the Make Human YouTube channel that I have set the link in the description. So you can actually, you have different things you can be able to actually give him. So I will just quickly go here and I will type green. And I have this suit. So that's the suit I actually want him to wear. So I'm going to click on that. So once he wears this, I can now remove this my thing here. So if you look at this character, already has a sort of shoe on him. It's like a suit that is covering the entire body. So once you're done with that, so other things we'll have here in this thing, you have cap. Let's check for cap. So you have different kind of caps that you can be able to, if you want to maybe give him a soldier cap or something, you can be able to do that. Let's try it out and see what it looks like. So, but I don't think that works well with this particular character, so we're going to just remove that. Okay, let's try this white cap. Oh, interesting. Let's leave that alone. So I think I'm going to work with this character like this. So after this, the next thing we want to do is to optimize this character for animation by applying the rigify control. So right now it just has the normal rig here. So I'm just going to go down. Let me snap this and go down back. Let me remove this too. Go down back to the rigging where we added this particular thing here. So what we'll do right now is to I will click on this delete meta rig. If you decide that you don't want to do that, you can leave it so that after you generate the controls, you won't lose this particular rig. So but I want to delete it when I'm done. So I'll just go into generate. Okay, now we have created the controls. So you have different controls. If you enter into pose mode, you can be able to actually control this character, and the eyes, the mouth, different parts of the body, you can be able to actually control it, and it's quite very interesting. So I'm just going to leave that for now. So the next thing we want to do now is for us to animate this character. So we want to be able to animate certain things in this character. The first we want to animate is the idle animation. So the idle animation, then we'll do a walk cycle, forward walk cycle, and then the backward walk cycle, and we're going to do this. So if you don't know how to do this, just relax and watch me create these things so that you will be able to create in your own character, because these are the animations you'll be using for making our game. So the first thing I want to do is to select this. Now, don't be afraid of the whole controls. They're very simple to work with. So the thing you want to pay attention, just forget about these ones. Select this. So when I will be doing a series on MPFB, I will be showing you how to work with these characters, be able to remove some of all these things so that you can focus on what you want to focus. So here is the I key for the hand, the inverse kinematic control here. So I can rotate and bring this down a bit to this place. So I have this here, and select this one for the hand and push this down. Push this down. Okay, so I have a straight stand pose here. Bring this together. Bring this together. I want it to stand straight. So I'm just going to press A and select everything. I always like hiding this root bone because sometimes if you dare to animate it, it might be doing something very funny later. So I'll select it and press H to hide it. So select everything. Just press A to select everything. I think I like the pose. Now I always like to create a very stand pose. So the reason is because sometimes when I do some other animations, maybe I have a character jumping or doing something, and I want to go back to my stand pose so that I can, repose, something in a very, it's easier for me to work from here than when I have the character, maybe the hands are in different direction. It's difficult for me to pose. So I always like going for this stand pose. You can also go for T pose if you want to, but I like this particular one for my own experience. So I'll go for new, and this is a pose library here. It only activates when you actually go into the pose mode. So go over here, click on plus and add this. I can double click and just call it stand. So I have this. So now that's just all I need. So the next thing I want to do is to do the idle animation. So for me to do that, I will change this particular place to the dope sheet. Okay, so when I change a dope sheet, I will change this dope sheet into an action editor. And this is very important because if you don't do it this way, when you create animations, you won't be able to have the ability to be able to create multiple animations. So, and there are things you have to turn on for you to be able to export it to Godot engine. So I'll click on my animation editor, and here I don't have any animation yet, so I'm going to click a new animation and call it idle. All right, so I'm just going to come in here and I'll select this. I think I'll select this one, and let me just select everything. I think that will do something for me. I want to start with the first pose. So, but there is something I'm missing. What I'm missing right now is my automatic keyframing. So I think what I will do is this. I will go into my animation. So here we can go into animation. So in animation, you will have access to both the animation or the automatic keyframing on here, and then also the dope sheet. So I can just change this. I think this is even the best for us. So instead of going the long way of being able to set it myself, I can just use the animation or layout here. So let me do that again. Action editor. So I have the other animation already there, and just come up here and click on automatic keying, and then click here and just select location rotation. So this is very important because that's the major thing I will be animating. So here I'm going to just go ahead to press I over the entire thing. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing this is that I want to be able to have when it's standing straight. That's the first pose. So I always like using 20 frames. So even if it's fast, I can always be able to scale the animation right inside Godot engine. There is a way to be able to scale animations easily inside Godot engine. So here I can just go into the frame 10 and select this one. That's the control, the center control here, and select this and select this, and I'm just going to bring it down a bit. Now I know this might not be the best idle animation, but this is just a very simple idle animation I always like creating, where the car is just coming down and up and just bouncing on its own, so things like that. So I have this, so I can just select this, press it to select everything, press I. I think I missed something. Press I, and I will just quickly just come up here, select this, and Shift D and duplicate it and bring it down here. So if you come up here, you see it comes up. That's what you're seeing. That's good. So it creates a cycle. So let's change this. Come down here, change the end frame to about 20 frames. So if I play, it goes down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So this is what you're going to be seeing. So this is actually running at 9 frames per second. So it's actually faster than this. And even if it's too slow, we'll be able to work on it right inside Godot. So this is just what it looks like right now. So, but I don't think it's quite very energetic. Let me see something here. I can work on it. Okay, so let me say I have this. It goes down somewhere here. I'd like to push this one back a bit to somewhere here. There's somewhere here. See what it's gonna look like. Yep, I think this is better. It's more energetic. So then I always like to add some kind of variation to my animation to give the character some kind of life. So I'll hold Shift, select this one, just rotate this one. Okay, so I have this. So see, when I go down, it comes down. That's good. So I'm giving some kind of life to it. I think it's quite too much. So I'm going to select this here and just shift it back a bit like that. So just know that this, and this, you know, you can use it to actually bring it down a bit. So you have something like this. So you have, okay, so I have something like that. So if you want a character to be more balanced, if you feel like it's not good, you can always shift it back, but I won't do that in this class. So I'm just going to go ahead to, now one of the most important things you have to do here is to go ahead to make sure that your animations are complete. So you are sure right now. So we'll have this. So click on this fake user. So this is a way of being able to save your animation so that it doesn't disappear. So if you click on the fake user here, and then you can just remove. Okay, so right now we want to be able to create a new animation. This one will be the forward animation. We call it the forward walk cycle. Let me just do some underscore here, cycle. Okay, so I have this here. So for this one, I think I would like to do, let's pause it. So when you're doing animation, when you're doing a walk cycle, the first thing you want to do is you do your first key pose. So my first key pose, let me go with the left leg forward and the right leg backwards. And I can select this one and drag it down. Okay. So I have this. Remember, our auto keyframing is on, so it's already keyframing for us. So I can just go down here and so if the right leg is backward, that means the right hand should be forward. So don't worry about the folding of the hands. You know, you can just leave it like this, because when the game is playing, you might not even notice all those things. I'm gonna drop this here. I think this is good. So go for this one. So if you look at now, I'm just using some basic controls. I'm not touching all this crazy things that are looking, you know, over here. So I'm not even touching them at all. It's looking very, very huge and confusing. So don't worry about them. We're just using these IPs to control the character. So I just bring this down a bit. Okay, I think I like this. So let me just push this up a tiny bit. Okay. So this is the first key pose that we'll be creating, and you also want to finish up, because if this particular leg is coming forward, that means the waist will be RZ, and you just shift it a bit, something like that. It gives more energy to your work. And this part here, if this is coming forward and the hand is going forward, that means this part will come forward. So something like this. So you have, like, a very energetic body, walking. So we can work on the head a bit. So I can just tilt it just a tiny bit, just to give you, I think it's even straight now. So let me just give it a tiny straight. So I have something like this. So the other controls I like using most times is this. If you need to change the face, how the leg is actually facing. So if you need to face maybe somewhere here, maybe face this way, you can use that control. So I'll press A to select everything and press I to keyframe everything. I always like doing this so that in case I have any reason to change any particular thing, I will change on that particular time that I've keyframed it. So now the easy part, now I will just select it. Make sure you're selecting everything here. Click on just one of them to select everything and just do Control C. Okay, if you click on this summarize, you see that it's just like the dope sheet too. So you can just do that, Control C, and just open it. And I will go over to 10. Okay, so in 10 I'm going to do Control Shift V. So the Control Shift V will flip the pose for me. So it's going to, instead of going to repose it the other way around, I can just do this and I have a passing pose this way. So I have something like this. So you have the head going this way and then that way. So then I'll just go to 20 immediately and just paste it again. Control V this time around to paste this one I already have here. So I have the first key pose, the counter pose there, and then that first pose again. So it creates a cycle, a complete cycle. So but to make it very interesting, we'll have to do our passing pose. So I'm going to go back to 5 here and I'm going to select this here and drag this up a bit this way. Okay, so I have something like this. So when you have the passing pose, the character is a bit up, and I like always going back to know which leg is behind. So the leg that is behind, that's this one now, will be the one that is passing. So it's going to be the one that will be up, and then you rotate it a bit like this. Okay, so it all depends on what you're looking for in your animation, depending on how you want the person to be walking, the energy you want to give to the character. So I'm going to bring this a bit down here. Okay, I think this is good, and you can also work with this if you want to. You have how the character is. So I have this person, so I can just push it back a bit. So I think this is good for me. Alright, so I have this here. So if you go, you see you have it's passing. And that's good, that's what we want. So I always like pressing I to animate everything here so that I will make sure that they are in a specific location at that particular time. So I'm going to go now to the next passing pose, which is 15 here. So I'm also going to do drag it up a bit again. Okay, so I was like make it not too straight. So push this back. So this is the passing guy. So come up here and take it up. Rotate a bit like that. Okay, so we'll have this here. All right, so now I'm going to just be sure. Okay, I think this is good. So the character here, just push energy backwards there. So I have something like this. So it goes this way. So I have something like that. So if you look at the character here, you actually see how smooth the animation is. So depending on what you're looking for. So this is just a very simple walk cycle that you can be able to use. So let me see if there's any other thing we can do to it. So we have a character, the shoulders are moving. What about the leg? Okay. So the waist is actually moving. Yeah, that's it there. And the shoulder is not moving like much we want it, but I think I like the way the face is it has some energy to it. Let's look at it from the front here and be sure what we're doing. Yep, it's actually moving. Okay, that's good. So the next thing we want to do is we have the walk cycle here. So let's select everything and make sure that we have everything keyframed here. So this is very important. I always like doing this so I don't have empty bones. So but later we'll be hiding some of all these things that we don't need. So the next thing I want to do is to just go click on the fake user tool and just remove that. And now before we are going to bring this back again and do something to this. So I'm going to click on this. Now I want to be able to use the same animation I've done, but this time around I want to be able to make it walk back, because I could actually start again and do this manually. So trying to pause it and then try to walk back, but I don't want to do that here. So what I want to do right now is to come over here. If you look at here, I have new action, so I can create this and it's going to change. There are two actions. Now if you click here, you see that we have the walk cycle, we have a walk cycle 01. So I'm going to just change this. I'm going to remove this and change this one to backward. So this one is a different animation right now. So right now, if you look at here, this is the one that is here and there's the one that is here. So what you want to do right now is you want to take the one at the back. Okay, so let's try this out. So how I like doing it is I always increase my timeline a bit. So let's say 40, and I'm going to shift everything out. Just press it, select everything, G to grab it and just move it out. Okay, so this is the fastest way I will do this here. So I'll just come in here, I'll turn off the summary, because summary is always open. So I'll just close it so that you can have access to just one of the entire animation as just one keyframe. So I'm going to select this second keyframe here. Let me make sure it's perfect. Okay, so I'm going to select the first one, that's the last one. So the last should be the first, and then put this one here, and then this one should be here. So let's test it again and see. All right, that's good. That's good. That's what we wanted. So just know that you have to get the last one and put it in the front, the next one to it, and then the other one here. And then that means this one will also be here, and then this one will balance back to 20. So the first 9 is on the last. So if you go now, you see that it's walking backwards. So let's change this back to our 20 frames. So you have this. So that's how we create a backwards animation. You just take the last keyframe, put in the first keyframe, just flip everything. That's the whole idea. So I'm going to go over here and just click here, and I can just delete this. So make sure you actually delete this. Here should be blank. Okay, don't have any animation here. It works better. Don't worry about the way it is. So I'm going to save my work and save this. So make sure it's actually in the center, because that will affect when we are going to be exporting it. So the next thing I want to do after animating this is to optimize the material. We have finished optimizing the animation. We are now going to optimize the materials. So I'm going to go over here and select this material, and let me just go back to my layout. So I can select the controls and just press H to hide it. Now I will select this character and go into my shading. So that's where I'll optimize everything. So right now, if you put this character inside Godot, it's going to appear in a very funny way. You won't like it. So you need to optimize it. You need to make it so that it's easy for Godot to be able to read. So right now, Godot doesn't understand this particular complex thing. Okay, so you need to get something out. So I will just click on that, open it, and I need to get the file here. Where is it? This one here, the diffuse texture. That's this texture for the skin. So I'll just Control C on it, and let me make sure that I'm not even in the material for the skin here. So I'll just go to this one. So that's the body. That's what you want to work on. So let's scroll back and see. So I've copied that. I think he's using the same texture for all of the different parts of the body here. So I'm going to just do Control V. Let me see if he's going to paste. Yep, he has pasted. So just know that you have to open up this. When you open this up, you select and copy it. So just change and bring it back again. So it will just go back to the normal way it was. So that's the fastest way to do that. So what I will do right now is that I'm going to disconnect this. Sorry, from here, disconnect this. You can just keep it there if you want to. And I'm going to just put this right click, add in a shader. I'm going to add principal shader. I hope everybody remembers that it is Shift A. You can be able to add it with Shift A. So you go to shader, principled, and just drop it there. I'll bring this down and put the color here, put the BSDF there. So we'll have something like this. So this will actually work very well for our character. So it's a very simple thing. So let me open this. The normal texture is not very descriptive. It doesn't really have a normal texture here. So it's just this that it has. So there are several ways you can be able to actually get a normal texture, but we won't do that in this class. So we're going to just use this particular the diffuse texture only for this particular work that we'll be doing. So the next thing I want to do is to select probably let's go for the lips too. And the lips, we're going to just do Control V and do this, because if you don't do this, when you actually start your work, you will see the lips changing. That's the color of the lips will change. You actually see something completely different that you don't expect. So I'm going to just put that there. So it's already mapped, it's already UV wrapped. So you just be selecting it and putting there. So we'll have the fingernails. You can actually put that too. But to make it easy for me, I will do something. I will select this lips, select these two, hold Shift, select that, Control C on them, and then just do Control V to be pasting just two of them, and just connecting this with that. Then toenails, he doesn't have a toenail because he's actually wearing some kind of this. The next one is ears. Very important. If you don't do this, if you forget to do this, you see the ears, probably white or something. So drag this down and just put this there. Okay. So I think that's all we need for the skin of the character. So you can select the clothes, and the clothes, you see that it's it has some kind of things here. Now the thing you want to remove is this metallic. Okay, now I know that you might think the metallic will do a very good job here, but trust me, it's going to appear in a very weird way. It's going to make it look have some kind of very funny thing on it. So I always like removing this metallic. Okay, or you can still remove it inside Godot, but if you remove it here, it will save you a ton of things. Just don't worry, it's not going to look as beautiful as you want, but inside Godot it's going to look very, very perfect. So just disconnect it. You don't have to delete it, just disconnect, because you can use it inside Blender for it's going to work well in Blender, but not inside Godot. It's has this kind of red color that it reflects on the surface. So we have a bump here. You don't need this bump here. Just change this to normal. Okay, just remove that. You can delete this one now. So you can just do it directly from here. So this one has its normal. So you just do it directly from the normal map here, the normal texture, and then to the normal map here, and then you connect to the normals here. So this is the thing. So I'm going to save again to make sure I'm updated. So the last thing we want to optimize, because these eyes, it has some kind of programming on it, some kind of shaders that were used. The shaders will not work well here. So we'll have to create a new kind of eye. So if you have an eye texture, then you can add it here on your own if you know how to do that. But for the sake of all those who will be doing this, I'm just going to create eye white and eye black. So we're not really going to be looking at the eyes of a character, so we don't really want to bother too much about that. So I'm going to call this eye white, and I'm going to create a new one called eye black. Okay, so these two things will help us. So I'm going to just enter into edit mode. So it's going to select the entire eyes. So let me see if I think it's over here. So select the entire eyes and just assign it, select your eye white and assign. Okay, so like I said, if you don't know how to use Blender very well, just go for my course on Blender, the Blender series. So you can be able to watch how to work with Blender. So here you can be able to select this, use the face selection mode. So we want to select the part that will be black, so this eye part. So make sure you select the one in the center, select this one in the center. Now on your keyboard, press Ctrl numbers part plus. Okay, so you can just Ctrl plus. So if you don't have that, you can just do select more. See there, so it will be selecting more. So you just go there, just Ctrl plus. So I have selected these ones, so I can just click on this and say assign this to eye black. So I'm going to change that to a black eye. So I have something like this. So I would just like to make it a bit shiny by reducing the roughness just a tiny bit, not too much. Now let's go back to edit mode, and we'll have the guy with a black eye. So if you want it to have a different color of the eye, you can be able to change it in this place. I think I'll just work with a black eye for the meantime. So and save that. So after optimizing, I think this is the major thing, working with the skin, the eyes, the ears, and then the cloth. So once you optimize that, the next thing you want to optimize is that you have to make sure, let's go back to our layout. Whenever you're exporting any Blender model to Godot, you have to make sure it's in the center, because this is how the alignment will actually be. If you don't do this, if this character is maybe over there, when you start, the center of origin will also be over there, and you see that you have this kind of box that will make it look not so good. So you want to work with something that is right there in the center. So I would like to go ahead. So you can always go to idle if you want to. So and just you have this. Oh, there is a problem somewhere here. Let me check. Alt H. Okay, let's do that again. Select that and idle. Okay, that's good here. So we'll have something like this. So let's cycle through them and see. Yep, we're sure everything is working fine. Okay, so we'll have this. So you can just close this. Okay. Okay, so now that we have this, the next thing we want to be able to do, let's save this and just go down to export. So to export our character, once you've aligned to the center this way, you want to be able to select every single thing. You can just drag it. Okay, select that. So when you do that, you go to file and let's go for exports, and you're going to use the GLT 2.0 export. So if you click on that, now we have the game asset. So let's create a new folder inside there called exports GLTF, and double click. So we'll have the player GLB file. So the next thing you want to turn on, very, very important, you have to open this, click on limit to selected objects, go down to data and the mesh, and click on apply modifiers. Now this is very important, because if you don't do this, it's going to appear in a very weird way when you actually start working. So You click on export and wait for it to finish exporting. And that is how you create and animate a 3D character in Blender using the MPFB add-on. So you can be able to create that, and in the next video we'll be learning how to create 3D models. We're just going to work on how to create realistic 3D models that we're going to be exporting to Blender 2, because we're just working with characters. We'll be working with 3D models. We're not going to model the entire building, but we're going to learn the basics of modeling inside Blender in preparation for our Godot work. So I'll see you in the next video. Please do like and subscribe to my channel and share this video, because there are a lot of people who want to learn how to create games without coding, because once we're done with this, we'll be creating the visual coding or programming for this character and the entire environment. So I'll see you in the next video.